Hey, Chris Liepe here with some new Daniel Johns, the song Reclaim Your Heart. A couple weeks ago, I released a video on the vocal transformation of Daniel Johns. It was really right around the time this stuff was coming out, and this album is amazing. I really like it. It was kind of a breath of fresh air from him based on some of the other stuff he'd been doing, and the melodies, the production. If I was going to make an album right now, it would be similar in style and in the contemplative spirit of this album. So I'm excited to go through an analysis of Reclaim Your Heart off of Daniel's new album, Future Never. And in the spirit of diving deep into the vocal performance itself, pay special attention how he uses his chest resonance and his head resonance together, how he seamlessly moves between the two and sometimes not so seamlessly. It's all about dynamics and feeling out where to go into your different resonances. So it doesn't sound like he's doing it as a crutch. It sounds very intentional and like he's doing it simply to make an artistic and emotional dynamic statement. The other thing I really want you to hone in on, because it's hard to miss, is the way he uses vibrato. Based on the way his tone is, the placement of his larynx and resonance, he almost sounds operatic in some ways, which I think is really cool because he certainly goes in and out of that vibe even during this song, certainly on the album. If you'd like more help unpacking what your voice can really do, the best place to start with me is by clicking the link below and joining my free voice course. There's lots of ways we can work together from there. A lot of the techniques that I'm going to be discussing in this video, you won't really be able to grasp with your voice unless you have the foundations down. And that's what my free voice course really does. All right, let's do this.
Reclaim your heart.
Reclaim your heart. I'm not trying to sound like him, but I'm trying to infuse what he does with his voice and see what happens when I do it with my voice. It's not always pretty, but that's okay. I love how he started with vocal fry on re. Reclaim, then brought that resonance forward. Reclaim your heart, and brought it back, brought the resonance back as he sighed into heart.
It's been rationed and fed.
How long?
Cheeks of a prison.
Tricks of a prison. Ooh. He's so bright. Tricks of a prison. Really interesting to do that. If you would keep your resonance the same the whole time, tricks of a prison, it would not fit. We have to have dynamics, dynamic volume and intensity, and dynamic placement.
The spinning clocks in your head. Let that breath come through, this sort of compressed air that happens after the note. Beautiful. Reclaim your soul.
This is what I was talking about. Reclaim your soul. Ooh. At the same time, he darkens his placement. Reclaim your soul. It becomes a little more breathy. And then that vibrato takes you on a journey in his head voice.
It was never theirs to change.
Yes.
Reclaim your courage.
Hear that glassy rasp? Courage! And how bright it is? This is compressed head voice. Courage! It's not just using more air. It's not courage. That would be more like soul. Soul, courage. Using a bit more air, but also holding more air back with the very top of your vocal tract. Yeah.
Come alive through this pain.
Beautiful.
Too dangerous for our art. They think love is dangerous.
Did you hear on dangerous, dangerous? He's singing at a dynamic level where you can barely tell the difference between his chest voice and his head voice.
Too dangerous for our world.
Head voice.
Too dangerous for us.
Head voice. Chest voice. Head voice. Chest voice. Head voice. Chest voice. Finding that area in your voice where you can be singing in chest voice and then go to head voice along the same note, that's a really valuable tool to have for dynamic expression. Love the arrangement. You could argue that rings true. Listen to how I changed my resonance around. Oh, it rings true. Here I darkened true and then brightened it back up as the vibrato came. Listen to what he does there.
Oh, it rings true.
True. Lets that vibrato carry, but there's a little bit of a brightness tweak halfway through that true as the vibrato comes in. You can hear him. Love coming back to you. Hear him close his mouth and retreat. It's beautiful. Just like that.
Too dangerous for our art. They think love is dangerous. Too dangerous for our world. Too dangerous.
There's that our chest. Chest, head, chest, our world, our world. Don't just blow this stuff off. This is a big deal. Even though Daniel's not thinking about all these things as he's giving his performance, we as vocalists who want to be more interesting and engaged and not boring, sound like nothing vocalists, we have to embrace the observation of nuances in our favorite singers. It's the only way we're going to really improve.
For us.
Now you hear the, oh, this is where, I mean, it's buried in the mix, and there's also, I think, this, oh, going over it, very mixed in the back. But this is where you hear this sort of operatic thing happening with the consistency of his vibrato. Of course, it's in a very different context. mildly changing up the howling right there, right? It's not just static. Again, he's moving that resonance around as this, oh, that one is more static. But those head voice wails or moans up there are very different. I love this kind of guitar solo. What I like about it is that everything else is so ambient and almost hidden and veiled. And then you have this guitar that's just like right here, like this pause coming out and scratching your face. Yes. Oh, and how his tender head voice comes in right as that guitar is making its final statement. So beautiful. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the whole album. It is wonderful. It's one of those albums you want to listen to from start to finish. That's what I've been doing, going on car drives or having it in my headphones, where I can really listen to the nuances of the production. It's a wonderful, pleasing album all the way through. And again, if you'd like more help with your own vocal journey, click that link below and join my free voice course. We'll see you for more.